Brilliance Audio presents the unabridged recording of Chicken Soup for the Soul, Moms and Sons, 29 stories about courage and persistence, making a difference, gratitude, and learning from each other, by Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, and Amy Newmark. Performed by Luke Daniels and Joyce Bean.
Courage and persistence. When faced with a challenge, look for a way, not a way out. David L. Weatherford. Hand-me-down love. It was a typical spring day in my local high school science class. Each student was to show proficiency in anatomy by dissecting a frog. We were called up in alphabetical order. My day was today, and I was ready for the task. I wore my favorite power shirt, the one I knew I looked good in, the one everyone told me I looked good in. I had studied and was ready for the assignment. When my name was called, I walked confidently to the front of the room, smiled to the class, and grabbed the scalpel to begin the task. A voice from the back of the room said, "Nice shirt." I beamed from ear to ear, when suddenly another voice from the back of the room said, "That shirt belonged to my dad. Greg's mother is our maid, and she took that shirt out of a bag headed for the Salvation Army." My heart sank. I was speechless. It was probably 1 minute, but it felt like 10 minutes of total emptiness and embarrassment in front of my peers. Vice President of Student Government, born with a gift of gab, I stood for the first time in my life speechless, with nothing to say. As I looked to the left, another African American whose mother was also a maid looked down. To my right, the only other African American in the class laughed out loud. I wanted to crawl into a hole. My biology teacher asked me to begin the dissection. I stood speechless. He repeated the question. After total silence, he said, "Mr. Franklin, you may be seated. Your grade, a D." I don't know which was more embarrassing, receiving the low mark or being found out. At home, I stuck the shirt in the back of the closet. My mom found the shirt and brought it to the front. This time I put it in the middle of the closet. Again, she moved it to the front. A few weeks passed and my mom asked why I had not worn the shirt. I responded, "I just don't like it anymore." She pressed with more questions. I didn't want to hurt her, but I'd been raised to tell the truth. I explained what had happened in front of the whole class. Mom sat in total silence while tears fell from her eyes. Then she stood and called,
"Sample complete. Ready to continue?"